I'd like to begin by offering a few thoughts of my own about my father. Forgive me, I'm going to read these because I want to make sure I get this right. It's one of those strange things about life that the people who know a person the least are often his own children. That's not really surprising, I suppose. Parents have to be different people to their children than they are to their friends or their spouses, and that's just something that goes with the territory of being a parent. And that's why we gather together on an occasion like this today, so that we can all remember a person in full, someone who's just left us, from all of us who each knew my father in their own special way, and sharing those stories, I hope that we can celebrate the person that he was. This is one reason why I think that we as a species live for much longer than it takes to raise our offspring to adulthood. This is not something that's common in nature. Most creatures just reproduce and die, but we don't, fortunately. And it's fortunate because it gives us the chance as we grow to adulthood ourselves to get to know our parents as people and not as parents. For lots of reasons, it took me a long time to get to know my father as a person, and I'm not sure I do still, but I've tried to learn. And as I've learned more about him, I find myself asking more and more, who were you? Rather than the rather stern and somewhat distant taskmaster that I knew when I was growing up, what I've since learned about him, both on my own and from his many friends, some of whom are gathered here today, is that he was someone who actually had quite an amazing sense of adventure. He had enormous drive and determination. He was successful in a lot of things in his life. And what impressed me the most as his son was that he had a deep down sense of integrity. He knew what was right and what was wrong, and he would make deep sacrifices to be able to be sure that what was right was done. There's a lot I don't know about my father still, but this I do know. I think he was a good man to be a friend of. This is the Neil that all of you knew, of course, and that I'm still learning about. I, in fact, learned some new things about him on Friday, thanks to Art Smith, in fact. And now that he's gone, I'm just glad that I was able to let him know that I came to know something of who he was. Not all of us are lucky enough to have had that opportunity, of course, and I'm very grateful that I did. Another advantage of our long lives, of course, is that fathers can see their kids grow up into adults themselves. My father was the way he was to me, of course, because he was being a father, trying to make sure that I grew up to be someone that he could be proud of. I think I ended up being the man he wanted me to be, even if my path there took a little while, and it wasn't quite the way he had imagined it would be, and it must have been an endless source of exasperation to him. But I'm glad he lived long enough to at least see how his work turned out, both for me and for my sister, Ginny. But I think the most important gift of our long lives is something that I think that you, the child, can really only see when your own kids finally grow to adulthood, because it's only then that you can understand, in a way that can't really be put into words, why being a father sometimes means not being the person that you are or might want to be, but who you must be to be a father. I think one can die happy if you can see your child realize the gift that you, as a father, has given to your child, and that the gift is acknowledged, even if only by a nod of the head. As I say goodbye to my father, I hope he saw that I finally, after many, many years, came to appreciate the father and the man that he was. Thank you.